Hey guys, and welcome back to Wind Waker HD for the penultimate part of the playthrough. We have the Triforce of Courage. All that's left is to rescue Zelda and take down Ganon once and for all.
Wait, what do you mean rescue? She's just chilling out in the room. There's no rescuing. That's where this whole game deviates from the formula. Zelda's just chilling, being a self-sufficient girl, not really helping us, but at least she can deal with her own issues, and we deal with ours.
They cut my ancestor, or not ancestor, I should say, in half.
My reincarnation, no!
So of course I'm going to take a selfie in front of it, say cheese.
I like how it kind of looks like a Link to the Past Link, which infuriates me. It makes me very mad that you would disrespect a Link to the Past Link like that.
I didn't want to say anything, but the link that it reminds me of is the one from, like, Faces of Evil.
Oh. No. Get out.
Oh. Sorry, I must be in a very goofy mood today. Yeah, you're right, after all, Zelda's fine. Peachy Keen, A-OK.
Hooray!
Wait for it. Oh, darn.
No, nowhere near as dramatic as getting caught in a crystal than getting zapped while being caught in a crystal and then being whisked away.
It's like, Ganon's like, I've done this fucking song and dance before, I'm not gonna put the same effort in the second time around.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing too, this Ganondorf has done this all before, because this is the timeline where he did everything. Mm-hmm. He actually conquered the world!
Yep.
And was like this close! And then Zelda and Link had to fuck shit up for him. Then he got stabbed, cut, turned into Ganon, stabbed, cut again, trapped in the sacred, not sacred, whatever realm, broke out, and now he has to go through all this again. You know what? I sympathize with this Ganon way too much.
Seriously, Andy puts on a friggin' show and dance here with these elite Darknuts, which look cool, the area looks cool, and it's not really very hard, but much like Wind Waker, you know, style wins over substance, I guess. This is just a fun fight overall.
And they give us the credit of playing the mini-boss music, because even the game knows that that's the best track.
Yep.
They don't even try to be like, oh, here's a new secret Ganon mini-boss music. No, fuck this shit. Original mini-boss music, because you know you love it.
Which mythology are these guys based on? I think we've, like, commented on it before, but I'm seeing, like, snakes on their shield, you know, Anubis from Egyptian mythology. It's like a mix of Egyptian and Greek or Roman, maybe?
Yeah, they do have very gladiatorial gear. I mean, their helmets even have that, like, broom mohawk thing.
Yeah.
It's probably called a crest, because I know that's what it's called on a bird. But, yeah, and then you have the jackal heads. But, I don't know, the enemies themselves don't really seem to have their own, like, cultural background. Because Ganon's design, you know, is very, I don't know, it's different than what he normally has, because he usually just has generic desert worn armor, but now he has the flowing robes. So they've definitely stylized him, but the enemies themselves don't really have like a unified design background. I mean, the Bokoblins have sort of just like a jungle barbarian sort of deal going on with them. The Miniblins have annoying going for them, so that's a stylized choice, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, what's that? Let's comment on this. This is a really fucking cool bit.
I like how at first it doesn't fall apart, so it makes it look like, Link, what the fuck are you doing? Just what?
Oh, it's about to shatter like glass, it's so cool.
Okay, so that's 7 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? I'm just rounding this up. Enjoy your 7 million years of bad luck, Link.
He did the math and everything. Alright, well, getting back to the whole descriptive thing, it's literally just a straight path to Ganon's tower, by the way, so we got time to ramble. Ganon himself, he wears a lot of silk in this one, so I'm guessing they went for a kind of like oriental vibe with him.
And I like it a lot.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm not sure why, but at the same time, I love it. Like, I don't care who came up with the idea of it. It's very much like Link's design himself. I mean, they say that during development, after they had shown all the footage at Space World, that, hey, check it out, Ocarina of Time, but with better graphics, you know, you want it. Mm-hmm. And then they were kind of having a hard time getting, like, a unique vibe rolling with Wind Waker, till just out of the blue, one of the art directors just drew cutesy Toon Link. And they're like, oh my god, that's amazing!
Yeah.
So then another art director just drew one of the Moblins, and it's pretty much this design. Like, they really didn't go through many design choices with Link and the Moblins. Like, those guys, it was the first drawings in this style, and they rolled with it, and they say that everything else just sort of, like, meshed in perfectly well. It was an idea that was so good that they didn't even really need to retouch it.
I like how the Darknut in front of the entrance to Ganon's tower is wearing, like, devil armor. Kind of a bit of a foreshadowing for the evil that lies within.
Yeah, they really did give the Darknuts, they made a lot of different variations with them. That's kind of weird that they didn't do that with, everything else. Like, at the very least, they could have had, like, the normal kind and then the get ready for Ganon kind, but not even that. You will fight the exact same Bokoblins and Moblins as you did back in Forsaken Fortress. There's no change.
I love how, like, run down the surrounding area is, because obviously this is, 100, 200 years after the events of Ocarina of Time?
It is an indefinite mythological amount of time. Which means it's a translation for, I don't fucking know, I don't want to look it up. Enjoy your shitty timeline, nerds.
So, Ganon's tower, mate. I could go into detail about it, but I want to hear your opinion first.
It's a definite downgrade from the Ganon Tower in Ocarina of Time. However, we also have to remember that there was one final dungeon in between that Ganon Tower and this Ganon Tower, and that was Inside the Moon. And compared to Inside the Moon, it's a step up. So, it could just be that Ganon's Tower was such a good 3D final dungeon that the next two didn't quite live up to it, because I never really enjoyed the Moon. I get that it's a whole, let's call back to the 4 dungeons you've been to, and you want to know what, here's your fierce duty mask, enjoy, but the Moon to me was, it had that ethereal, like, you really felt like you were out of the world.
Yeah.
In Zelda, so it had that going for it. This just feels like padding. Like, nothing about this feels like you're making any sort of progress. It really just feels like, hey, we have all of these elements. Assets, yeah, we have all these assets, so let's just put them together in little mini dungeons, and that should kill about a half an hour of the player's time.
Well, the thing is, in Ocarina of Time, it was the same basic principle. You had, like, elemental-themed puzzle rooms, like obstacle courses. It's the same thing here, but they're, like, one room long, and then you fight the boss of, like, what temple or dungeon it's representing again, and that's it, and then the dungeon just continues, and then you fight another mini-boss, and then it's the final boss.
Yeah, exactly. At least with Ganon's Tower, even though it's less gameplay, finding the sages to take down the barrier was pretty interesting and actually kind of exciting. Mm-hmm. With this, just fighting the boss again, yes, it's actually engaging, you're actually playing the game, it's not a cutscene, therefore it should get more credit, but I just don't feel the same sense of satisfaction refighting a boss.
The funny thing is, this is, I would argue, the hardest room of them all, because the Forest Haven one is piss easy. The Earth Temple one is, it's a little bit fiddly, but it's doable. And the Wind Temple one is just a joke.
Yeah, that's the other thing, too, is that I get it. This game is easy. It fits the aesthetic. It's very artistically driven, and therefore they tied the difficulty to the art style. But at the same time, this is the final dungeon. This should be a trial, and it pretty much exemplifies what I dislike about 3D Zelda final dungeons.
Yeah.
In that this is your final test. This should not be a recap, or essentially, like, it shouldn't be, oh, I remember this. It should be, damn, this is really hard. When am I getting to the final boss? I should be frustrated, or not frustrated, but I should at least be engaged and excited and having to use my brain / thumbs for a final dungeon. Come on.
You want to be challenged, is what you're saying.
Yes! But, I don't know. This whole part just feels really, really padding. More so than the Triforce quest, because at least the Triforce quest, I was doing something. I was progressing. I was getting something. This is just, no, I'm done. Can I please just get to the final boss now?
Yeah.
Like, nothing about this is interesting me.
We are, like, criticising it heavily. One cool aspect, I will say, and I don't mind the obstacle courses, they're just not great, is the fact that everything's in black and white and the music is all warbly and distorted.
Yeah, once again, it's this whole area being the art style and the art direction amazing, but you're not doing anything with it.
Yeah.
But the black and white does really drive home that you're not really fighting the boss again. Maybe you're fighting a memory of it, or Ganondorf has a spell over it where, it's pulling Link's memories out and they're materialized.
Possibly,
He's facing like the fears of the bosses, which that'd been kind of cool. How I actually would have appreciated a text box from Ganondorf saying, "I'm now in your head. Now prepare to face your worst nightmares again." Something like that. That way it'd be, oh, that's interesting. That's different. No, it's just, oh, the boss again. Okay.
What's cool about the fight, though, I guess if you want to call it cool, is you've got the upgraded Master Sword, the fully powered Master Sword, so the bosses go down rather quickly, except for Molgera, which roughly takes about the same time.
I mean, I do always enjoy that about Zelda games, when you can revisit areas with all your gear, and all the enemies that were giving you a hard time just go down so nicely.
So yeah, we've got to take out the 4 bosses of the four previous temples. Except for, why didn't Tower of the Gods get a look in? You could have had like a thing in the center of the door for like Godan.
Probably because that's not really affiliated to Ganondorf. Like, Ganondorf didn't invade, even though there were some enemies in there that were his, because there was a Darknut or two, but it really feels like that wasn't part of his plan. Like, he didn't set that up to, like, take a pearl or to steal power from the Master Sword. That was the hero's trial, so maybe because it's for the benefit of the hero, it's not really in Ganondorf's hands.
Yeah.
Although, I really would have enjoyed a rematch with the Helmrock King. Like, that seems something, if you're going to do redone boss fights, redo Helmrock King. That was his minion. Maybe he could use his dark magic. You know, he pulls a Rita Repulsa. Make my monster grow. And you fight like a super powered Helmrock King. How badass would that be?
Well, we all know what happened to Wind Waker towards the end of the game. Things were rushed, stuff was cut, so I guess this was just their compromise overall.
Yeah, you gotta do the best you can. If you're gonna have to do a clip show episode, at least do the best clip show episode you can.
Yeah, and I do apologise if we're being like overly critical here, but after the whole grand adventure on the open seas and whatnot, I kind of expect a little bit more to close out the game. And the game does end great, if a little bit, rushed. The ending is like, 10 seconds long before the credits start. But the final boss is cool at least, so there's something cool to look forward to.
I do like how, especially with the Forbidden Wood section, how you can definitely see that transition from the green into the gray, and it kind of makes the light particles look like ash. Ooh. So you have the bright either spores or dust, and then they turn into ash, and then you get the boss fight. So that right there is cool. Once again, art style, the choices they made with here to at least make it engaging to my eyes is very nice, and I do appreciate all of them. Also, boss fights going down in 2 hits. Also, huge plus in my book. But, like I said, with this game, it was doing so good at so many levels that to just continue doing good at one thing, and then everything else kind of fall apart, it's disappointing. Honestly, that's what I'm more than anything. I'm not mad. I don't hate this area. It's just, I'm very disappointed that this is how we're going to be ending a game that started off so great.
Yeah. You'll notice that it deselects your weapons for when you get into the boss fights, because obviously you wouldn't have the bow and arrow at the point you were fighting Goma, for example. Why it doesn't give you back your, at the time set weapons when you get out of the boss fights is beyond me, but that's nitpicking, really.
Yeah, you would think that that would be an HD remake thing they did. But then again, that could also... Maybe the exact same development thing happened again, where all of the thoughts on what needed to be changed were focused more to the experience at the beginning of the game. That when they got to fixing things towards the end, they were kind of like, the end was pretty okay, just leave it. Because that really doesn't seem like something... The fact that they have the Swift Cell change wind for you, and they have all these little touches to make the game less tedious, and they would forget to include the game re-equipping your items before they got unequipped for a boss fight, that strikes me as they either forgot, they got lazy, or they just didn't care.
Same basic principle as the Earth Temple here, set things on switches, run as fast as you can.
See, something like this, these trials actually would have been really cool for Triforce shards.
Yeah.
Because they're not badly made. I especially like this one. I just like how it's one big crypt, and you gotta deal with the light puzzles the same. Like, if they could have given me this for the Triforce shards, maybe, like I said, because there's 8, you could even throw back to the elements from Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Get all of those in there, and then expand a bit with the tower. I'm not really sure what they could have done with Ganon's tower to make it better, but I do really think that these trials, I mean, they're not bad. They could still be in the game, but they could have served as a better purpose for Triforce shards.
I have to say, though, this bit right here is flat-out bullshit and also reeks of padding, because, look, this thing doesn't spawn until you're just about ready to go up the stairs. Why? Why couldn't you fight it, like, right now and do it in, like, one cycle?
Why couldn't you fight him at the top of the stairs? So dumb. I don't know. Nintendo!
It's like, I love you, but I hate you. I love you, but I hate you.
That just sounds like a regular old relationship to me.
Oh boy, I don't know what that says about me. Place the shoe on the Switch and run!
If only there was some way we could have portable light at all times with us. See, that one doesn't look as ominous. That actually makes the door look more comforting. It looks like there's more light being shone onto the door itself.
Uh-huh.
The Forbidden Woods one actually looked like the plant life was dead around the door.
Yeah, the warbly, like, flashback music really enhances this boss. And also, we didn't have the hurricane spin the first time we came here. We do now. Look how much easier it makes this fight.
Oh shit!
Satisfying as hell, mate.
It is a shame, though, that the boss will put a limit on how many cycles you kill him. It's like, no, you did that too well. Let's make sure you enjoy this fight. It's a good fight, which, yes, game, it is, but if I have the skill level to make it go faster, you should at least give me that option.
It's just Nintendo. Well, actually, I'm being a bit too critical, but I'm going to finish my sentence anyway because I've begun. It's Nintendo like in A Link Between Worlds. When you've been playing for a while and you go to save, it will pop up a thing saying, oh, maybe take a break. And it will not let you skip it. It will actually pause for a second to make sure you read it.
I think that might actually be a health issue. Like, I think there might have been regulations on that. Or at the very least, they got enough complaints to warrant it. I'm not a fan of those messages either, but I understand why they would probably have been forced, or at least been heavily told to put those in. And to me, that's not really the same as saying, oh, you have to take at least 3 cycles to take this boss down, even though if you did this, and this, you could probably take him down in 1. Like, that's just saying that you're free to play our game, but you gotta play it our way.
Oof, Skyward Sword flashbacks there.
You see those dirty little fingerprints all over the Zelda franchise, all the way to the beginning. But they just start to grow, and then eventually they become handprints, and to the point that the page is just completely ripped.
Yeah. Alright, last little mini-dungeon thing based on the Wind Temple. It is pitiful. It is pathetic. I don't know why they even bothered.
I do like how on the outside the door frames are from the original dungeon architecture. Once again, the art style, on point. It's doing great things for my eyes, but the rest of my senses just couldn't give less of a fuck.
Aw, I whiffed. Not this time, though.
It's okay, he didn't punish, so you're all good.
Oh, the spikes are on his side. They're in cahoots.
It's almost like the dungeon is unfairly balanced against you. Like it's trying to stop you or something.
See, you just float across there, you avoid that thing below, you float again, past those things, and then you hookshot up and you're done.
But first must slash the toucan.
This is the hardest puzzle in the game right here. Like, oh my god, get on that thing, Link.
The auto jump.
I still wonder to this day what a 3D Zelda would be like if you had the Rock's Feather or Cape. I honestly think it would open up, like, not like a whole realm of possibilities, but a few new puzzle combinations at the very least.
I keep trying to think about how it could be. I already know that the complaints, I can already see just the forum posts galore. Why are they turning Zelda to a platformer? This is the worst Nintendo. And then comes the weird rebound of opinions. Then a game comes out and
I think at the very worst it could be like a Shadow of the Colossus ripoff, and let's be honest, that wouldn't really be a bad thing.
No, not really. I mean, everyone was drawing those comparisons, namely us, during Twilight Princess, so have fun. I really don't see it being that bad of an idea. I mean, everyone wants games to be unique. I get that. Everyone wants games to have individual identities, but I see nothing wrong with borrowing mechanics from another game, like especially if the game did it well. And if it really fits into your game, I mean, sometimes other people just have a better idea than you, and it's like, you know what? That could work. I didn't even think of that. Could I borrow that?
Yeah. What do we think about the music for the Molgera Refight? It's got a little bit of a Casio keyboard-like feel to it.
I like it. I do like how they didn't go with the same effect per song. Like, they didn't just take song, put it in function, and then whatever came out, use it. Like, they did unique touches to the 4 songs. So that's really good. This fight still suffers from the exact same issues that the original had, that the babies are fucking annoying, and goddamn Hookshot, could you discharge faster?
Seriously. There he goes, flying again, or she, I should say.
I actually am not quite sure. I mean, if it's based that heavily off Volvagia, I guess you could go with she, but yeah, the babies. Though nature does have a really weird way of even not even playing by that rule.
Yeah, seriously, it's like you thought you knew, but nature like turned the tables on you.
It's almost a shame that you have to get rid of the babies if you want to get a clear shot to the eyeball tongue.
One more round and we should be good here. It's kind of hard to think of like new things to say about a boss you've already fought.
Yeah, we already fought it. We already said our opinions. I mean, most of that was on the music, but it's the same fights. Not even like refight aggro increase. Nothing. It's the same fight. You really don't even get the satisfaction of, oh baby, I can take this boss down even faster because I am OP as fuck, because you're basically at the same level that you were when you fought him last time.
The game doesn't even really comment on this whole like reuse, apart from like panning to the door to say, oh, you're gonna have to fight these things again. You know, there's no lore reason why you're fighting these guys, it's just Mad Libs the section.
Yeah, I mean, some people would say that's better, because then you can come up with your own theories, but let's be honest, when you give gamers that privilege to come up with their own theories, we have clear evidence that they will abuse that privilege.
Oh boy.
Instead, I would have been okay with, like I said before, Ganon having a big text box laughing at us, saying, now prepare to face your worst or terrifying memories on your journey. And it would have been like, cool, he's in my fucking head. That's creepy, Ganondorf. Don't do that.
Like, can you imagine if he was, like, talking to you through, like, Tetra or Zelda throughout the dungeon, just really trying to fuck with you?
Oh my god, that'd be so good! They really do not play up the whole puppet Zelda dealio, because, I mean, it's not the first... Twilight Princess was not the first time. Like, taunt us with a familiar face. It would have been creepy. Oh my god, possess Granny. Nope, I'd quit the game.
I love the, it first appeared on the big old boss door, when you killed all 4 bosses, the pig Ganon thing. He doesn't really show up in this game, but it's nice to see they haven't forgotten that aspect.
Well, it was sort of his thing.
There is actually a bit here where you go into a room, that room, by the way, and it'll pan around showing you the torches, and if you go into the other room and repeat the boomerang puzzle, you can open a portal to the outside. I kind of got lost and stupidly, like, wasted time, so I decided to just jump into the void and activate the Phantom Ganon fight.
Yeah, might as well. Just know that you can go back to Hyrule. This game is very generous enough with that. Zelda games tend to not go too heavily on the whole point of no return. Plot-wise, yes, like, it will get to a point where you can no longer maybe talk to this guy. But in terms of area, since exploration has always been so big, they really don't ever make it a point to cut off sections of the world from you.
This puzzle's pretty simple, at least when you figure it out. You just gotta follow the hilt of the sword when it drops onto the floor.
Took me, like, 2 times. Mostly because I was taking on the boss so easily, or the mini-boss, or puzzle. I was taking him down so easily that I was like, alright, he's done, and now I go. Now I go. And now I go. It's like, wait. I'm doing the same thing over and over. I don't think I'm making progress. What's going on? And then I realized the sword.
It is literally the same thing over and over.
Yeah. Again, this kind of puzzle, not bad, but they really could have done with maybe changing up his AI. A lot could actually have been solved in this late game if enemies were just harder. And I don't mean I need my Zelda 1 difficulty. I just mean we're at the end of the game. You know how to play the game. You know the combat. You fought all these types of enemies at least once. Throw a slight curveball into it so that at least you stay on your toes. Because right now, you could just be going through the motions. You don't even need to be looking at the screen except for when that sword hits the floor.
I'm amazed he did not initiate Dead Man's Volley all that much. It said it's this thing, which for the longest time I thought you couldn't reflect back, but obviously you can.
Come on, Tom, you've played Ocarina of Time. What happens with the charge-up attack?
Yeah.
I also do like how, during these fights, the music that's playing is the Ganondorf fight from A Link to the Past, which then reused as the Ganondorf fight in Ocarina of Time. Another tune misattributed to Ocarina of Time when clearly it's from the superior game.
Well, you know what people call Ocarina of Time, right?
A hack game.
Well, no. Well, maybe that, but also Link to the Past 3D.
Hashtag greatest game ever made.
Okay, time to get, I guess, the last item of the game. Lay it on us.
I really thought this was going to be like the Dungeon Mapper Compass, and I was so mad at the game. Then I actually saw what the item was. I was like, oh yeah, I kind of forgot that was in this series. Oops.
It's nice to see an arrow that doesn't look like has a scoop of like lemon ice on the end of it.
Yeah. And I was honestly, like I said, I was really caught off guard by the light arrows being put in the game because we spend a good third of the game just powering up the Master Sword. So I was like, alright, Master Sword powered up. That's all I need for Ganondorf. And I completely forgot that you kind of need the fully powered Master Sword in conjunction with either light/silver arrows.
Yeah. You don't have to fuck about with it, by the way. Just shoot a light arrow at him and he'll die instantly.
And I love how they just teleport into the ether. Just gone. You don't kill them. You just send them to, I don't know, a dimension made out of dookie. Who knows?
How long will it take you to figure that out?
Like 10, 20 minutes, just, I don't know. It is really obscure. Yeah.
Oh, tension's building.
It's another reused song, so we kind of know the emotional state we're supposed to be in.
They're so evil, they just disintegrate into nothing.
It's like there's nothing left within their being that could be salvaged from the light arrows. Just all of it needs to be gone. Every single molecule has been tainted by evil and must be taken off the face of the earth.
Even Darknuts can't fuck with it.
Although, I will admit, I didn't think of using the light arrows the first time I played the game, so I just fought all these guys, which, honestly, was more fun for me.
Yeah.
Just because I got to kill some last-minute baddies. But yeah, when I saw people actually do this, I was like, oh, that's hilarious. It kind of kills the mood, but damn it, sometimes you just need a good laugh before a final boss.
Yeah, I guess the job done.
I just really don't see what else I'm supposed to get out of that. Am I supposed to feel powerful? Because all I feel is like a dick.
I love how, like, they deliberately programmed the game to drop rupees and whatnot at this point. It's like, we're literally on a linear path to the final boss. We couldn't be any more railroaded if we tried, and you're giving us money.
I think it just goes back to the fact that all of the enemies in this game are very cut and paste. If they didn't change the AIs, they definitely were not going to change their drop percentages.
There's Pig Ganon again on the door. Very nice, very regal. Love the red and gold.
Yeah, because when people complain about Pig Ganon not being in this game, I can point to at least 20 times he's shown up in this part alone and be like, there's your Pig Ganon. Are you happy?
Oh god, we're gonna have to make use of the light arrow in this particular fight coming up. I'm gonna tell you ahead of time, I did not do a very good job. I heavily edited it down, and it's the same. You have to fight each phase of the fight like 3 times. You have to hit them 3 times, so I just cut it for time. We were running on to like 40 minutes anyway.
No. If this isn't, well, this is technically a dungeon, so I guess we could have gotten away with that, but my sanity can't take it at this point.
I'll explain more when the actual boss fight starts, but exposition first and foremost.
Alright, so on a scale of 1 to ew, how creepy?
It's getting there.
Ganondorf here. No, too close. No, bad touch. Don't. No. Mm-mm.
What I like about this Ganondorf, especially at this point of the game, is he veers from like Slightly dangerous, but kindly old man you'd see on, like, the edge of a street corner, just, like, preaching, to, holy shit, you're a psychopath, at the drop of a hat.
Well, that's usually how psychopaths are. You can get those mood swings at the drop of a hat.
Also note the fact that he doesn't seem to have any pupils, kind of a giveaway for what's about to happen.
Reference to Ocarina of Time, when right before he turned into Ganon, he had those no pupils, and was coughing up either green or red blood, depending on your version.
So yeah, he has a bit of a thing about the gods/goddesses. I mean, you would as well if they banish you to, like, an eternal realm.
And then he could also be quite mad that they just decided to wipe out Hyrule when, you know, there are so many less extreme methods of getting rid of this problem. But no, they went with the harshest, least rational thought of, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna redo it.
Oh my god.
He looks so stupid.
The texture on him in the HD version makes him look all gelatinous, which is kind of odd.
Yeah, he looks like he's made out of rubber. I mean, before he looked more, it looked more like steel or some kind of metal, maybe even wood.
Yeah.
He looked like a wood-based puppet. But now, he really looks like he's just made out of jelly balls.
So like I said, I had to heavily abridge this because I was at the point where I'd been recording for like 38 minutes and I didn't do a very good job with the boss fight and I just did not want to have to redo the whole dungeon again. So what I've done is I'm going to show you how to beat each phase and heavily cut it down. You have to hit each phase 3 times to progress to the next phase.
Yeah, this is a finicky fight. It is a, I don't know, it has some really good ideas, it has some nice callbacks, but the problem about it is that it feels really lazily programmed or like last minute programmed because it will do shit that feels unfair or just really unintended. Unfortunately about this boss fight is that any quick kill strats are extremely difficult. You see the orb at the end of its tail, well, let's all remember back to our Ocarina of Time boss fights, and yeah, it's weak to light arrows. Now, you can hit that tail without cutting any of the strings with the boomerang, but he's wiggling it back and forth. So you can cut the one string over the tail, and then once it's on the ground, shoot it with light arrows, but that requires some extreme aim. And unfortunately with this game, Link's aim is not all that accurate. If we had a reticle, maybe this boss fight would actually be less infuriating, but as it stands, even the first phase is just headache inducing.
Yeah, and yeah, again, I don't really like to waste you guys' time, so I just thought I'd cut it down for the sake of convenience.
I do really like how the arena is sort of, well, it started off as kind of a royal bedroom or whatever, and it stays that way, even though it has this giant pool of water. But even then, I do like how it's sort of a subtle reminder that this game wasn't just about wind. This was also a game about water.
Yeah.
Lots of it, so let's throw a little into the boss fight. And you actually use it later on in the fight too, so that's neato.
I can't believe we actually beat Ganon. That was an easy boss fight, an easy final boss fight even.
See, Link's even happy. Oh, it's got the little splashy effects.
I think the second form is actually the easiest. The third one is by far the hardest.
I do like how the victory music like suddenly just shifts into minor key because it's not quite over yet.
So, first phase was obviously, you know, Ganon from Ocarina of Time in puppet form. Second one is spider form. He'll go up to the ceiling, spin around, and you gotta make sure you're positioned correctly so you can just, like, be by the orb and shoot it. You do this 3 times, and bada bing, phase 2 is done.
Also, the boss does periodically drop, release, summon forth keys for you, because you need to make sure you're stocked up on arrows and magic. So it's very similar to the Tower of the Gods boss fight, where the game is quite fair.
Yeah.
And like I said, you can use the water in this boss fight, because when he's up in the ceiling and about to crash down on you, you can see his reflection in the water, so that you can position yourself literally right next to the glass orb.
I was going to ask if that was possible, actually, but I guess I just didn't really think it through. This third one, I kind of think is it a reference to that Link to the Past boss, Moldorm?
Yeah, it's some Moldorm fight.
He was vicious to me in this fight. The RNG was hilariously, just aggressive and whatnot. See, look at this shit right here. What you don't see is this happening about 10 times in a row.
See, one way that you can actually, I don't know if you want to say it simplifies the boss or puts more odds in your favor, is he's attracted to bombs. So you can actually hold a bomb over your head. He'll run into it. He'll actually momentarily get stunned by the explosion, and then that gives you just enough time to position yourself for a quick arrow shot. Yeah, you're gonna take damage from either the bomb exploding or him running into you right before the bomb explodes, but at least it guarantees you some hits.
So, pretty cool boss conceptually. A little bit fiddly, especially so in the HD version of the game. I don't think gyro works as well as it does in the 3DS games. Sorry.
I will say I think I might prefer it better in the original, because they didn't really change anything there gameplay-wise. They didn't try to streamline the fight, and at least in the original, like I said, the puppet has sort of a wood metal texture to it, and I really like it because you can just see how fake it is, but it's not fake in, oh, look how plastic, and like he looked like he was made out of balloons in this version, and that just I don't know, that it just seems more silly than anything, because at least with fighting an imitation, then you sort of get that feeling that, really, I'm being cocked with here? Like, I'm ready to fucking bring it, and you're just sending a puppet, whereas sending a balloon animal, it's like, oh,
yeah.
You're not taking this seriously at all, are you?
Grandma Soup Eater.
This part brought to you by Grandma's Soup. Grandma's Soup, 2 servings and is it good?
And it gives you extra attack power and everything. What did you think about this last ascension to the final boss?
I really like it.
Oh yeah.
Even though everything else in this dungeon has been padding so dumb, this I like, because it gives some tension building. There's no music. You've seen where Ganondorf is hidden. You're going to use all your little trinkets one last time. And it's very good at building that tension and setting you up mentally for that final boss. Because now it's like you have nowhere to hide. I've dealt with your puppet. I've dealt with your ghost several times. I've taken down the bosses twice. So let's bring it. This is the final confrontation. There's no getting away, Ganon.
Did Puppet Ganon actually appear in any other games? I'm trying to think. I want to say, Four Swords Adventures, but I'm not sure, though.
His concept keeps coming back. Really, any fight that uses Dead Man's Volley you can see as a Puppet Phantom Ganon reference. The puppet himself, no, that's really just Wind Waker Ganon's trick. And it's a really neato trick. Like I said, as we both said, concept was really spot on, but execution needed work.
I'm sorry, I had to cut it down, but it was the only one in the game that I had to do so, and I strive for efficiency over style, so I do apologise.
So, the opposite of Wind Waker.
Well, it's all thematic now, I guess. Bit of a shortcut, in case you, die on the final boss and need to get back up here without climbing that rope.
Die? In Wind Waker?
Hand over the mouth, little royal laugh and everything.
My pinky is extended so hard.
Oh, okay, time for one last save, and we're going to end things here, because I do love to end things on a cliffhanger. We'll see you guys next time for the final part of The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. Bye-bye.